Welcome, tech enthusiasts and government procurement aficionados. You're listening to Digital Marketplace Diaries, where we turn dry government frameworks into riveting radio.
Riveting? Mark, I think you're overselling it a bit. We're not exactly Game of Thrones here.
But Tom, that's where you're wrong. Today we're diving into the thrilling world of G-Cloud 14. It's like Game of Thrones, but instead of fighting for the Iron Throne, we're battling for government contracts. So, Tom, imagine if the UK government decided to create a digital marketplace that's as easy to use as Amazon, but for cloud services. That's essentially what G-Cloud 14 is aiming for.
Right, because nothing says user-friendly like government procurement. But jokes aside, G-Cloud 14 is actually a pretty big deal. It's the latest version of a framework designed to make it easier for public sector organizations to buy cloud computing services.
Exactly. And here's where it gets interesting for our SME listeners. G-Cloud 14 is like a digital playground where David can compete with Goliath. It levels the playing field, allowing smaller companies to showcase their cloud services alongside the big players. Now, Mark, I know you love a good analogy. So let's think of G-Cloud 14 as having three musketeers. Can you guess what they are?
Let me see. Athos, Porthos, and Aramis?
Close, but not quite. We're talking about cloud hosting, cloud software, and cloud support. These are the three main categories of services offered through G-Cloud 14.
Of course. So, cloud hosting is like the strong, silent Athos, providing the infrastructure. Cloud software is the charming Aramis, offering ready-to-use applications. And cloud support is the loyal Porthos, always there to help when you need it.
I can't believe you actually made that work. But yes, that's the gist of it. G-Cloud 14 covers everything from infrastructure, as a service to software, as a service and specialist cloud support. Now let's talk about one of the coolest features of G-Cloud 14, its focus on transparency. It's like the framework is wearing a glass suit.
A glass suit? That sounds uncomfortable and potentially illegal in public spaces.
No, Tom. I mean, G-Cloud 14 mandates clear pricing structures and service descriptions. It's all about helping buyers make informed decisions based on value for money and suitability.
I see. So it's less about indecent exposure and more about decent disclosure. This transparency is great for buyers, but it also pushes suppliers to up their game, right?
Exactly. It's like a virtuous cycle of innovation and improvement. The more transparent the marketplace, the more competitive suppliers need to be. It's survival of the fittest, but for cloud services. Now let's focus on why G-Cloud 14 is such a big deal for SMEs. Mark, imagine you're a small tech company with a brilliant cloud solution. How does G-Cloud 14 help you?
Well, Tom, it's like being the new kid in school. But instead of trying to fit in at the cafeteria, you're showcasing your cloud services to government buyers. G-Cloud 14 gives SMEs a chance to sit at the cool kids table.
I'm not sure government procurement has ever been described as the cool kids table before, but I see your point. The framework allows smaller companies to highlight their expertise in niche areas, potentially giving them an edge over larger, more generalist competitors.
Exactly. It's like David versus Goliath, but instead of a slingshot, David's armed with innovative cloud solutions and agile development methodologies.
Now, Tom, let's get a bit technical and talk about the Wardley map for G-Cloud 14. It's like a treasure map, but instead of X marking the spot, we have cloud services and government priorities.
A treasure map? More like a strategic battlefield map for the cloud services war. But I get your point. What does this Wardley map tell us about G-Cloud 14?
Well, according to our map, the G-Cloud ecosystem in UK government digital transformation is like a well-established city with some exciting new developments. We've got mature foundations like the digital marketplace and G-Cloud framework, but there's still plenty of room for innovation, especially when it comes to SME involvement in cloud-native solutions.
So, it's not just about maintaining the status quo, but actively pushing for more innovation and dynamism in the ecosystem?
Exactly. The map suggests that the strategic focus should be on evolving the procurement process, integrating emerging technologies, and creating a more vibrant, innovative ecosystem. It's like urban planning, but for digital services.
And I suppose in this digital city, SMEs are the trendy startups opening cool new shops in previously overlooked neighborhoods?
Now you're getting it, Tom. And just like in a real city, the challenge is balancing this innovation and dynamism with maintaining high standards of security and value for money. It's a delicate balancing act, but that's what makes G-Cloud 14 so exciting. Well, folks, we've journeyed through the digital landscape of G-Cloud 14, from its transparent glass suit to its SME-friendly Cool Kids table. Who knew government procurement could be so exciting?
I'm still not entirely convinced it is, Mark, but you've certainly made it more digestible. I think the key takeaway is that G-Cloud 14 isn't just a procurement framework. It's a catalyst for digital innovation in the public sector.
Absolutely. And on that note, we encourage all our SME listeners to explore the opportunities G-Cloud 14 presents. Remember, in the cloud, even the smallest raindrop can make a big splash. Until next time, keep your heads in the clouds and your feet on the digital marketplace ground.